Huh. I wonder what Boston Rob is more upset at. The fact that his ally Ethan got voted off, or the fact that Amber's ex-boyfriend just got voted onto her island. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Nothing's going to happen. But what? I did not see that coming. Hey everybody, how's it going? I am the Survivor Dude, and it's time for another episode recap of what is going on Survivor Winners at War. What? Ethan? What is with me in every single one of my low-risk picks being voted off? You know, I said Natalie had a low chance, a low target rating. I said that I said that Danny had a low target rating. I said that Ethan had a low target rating. And all of a sudden, they're all gone. Okay, I said Amber had a high target rating, so I was right on that one. But besides that, everything else is like, I'm half expecting Michelle to go next, the way this is working out. So here we go with this episode. Everything on the Red Tribe is moving along hunky-dory, and honestly, I'm okay with that. You know, as I said in the last video, everyone that I like is on the Red Tribe, so I don't want you to go home. I don't want Tyson to go home. I don't want Tony to go home. I don't even, honestly, even Sarah right now, I really want her to stay because I like what's going on there. I mean, the situation with Sarah having to sneak into the other camp, it still is, you know what, it was, you know, it's a little bit of a cliche. You know nothing's going to happen. It's like 3 in the morning. Everyone's asleep. But the fact that they did it, it made it a lot of fun. I love how she brought Tony in and they're spitting and stuff and rubbing it. That was still it was a pretty fun sequence, and so she now has an extra vote. So let's see if I can keep track of the tally. Natalie on the edge of extinction has 3 fire tokens. I believe you need 4 in order to buy an advantage for the challenge. Natalie, then Jeremy has the Leave Tribal Council ability. Boston Rob has 2 fire tokens. Denise has 2 fire tokens. Parvati, now that Ethan is gone, has 2 fire tokens. Jeremy has 1, and everyone else I think has 1. Unless I'm missing. Denise also has his immunity idol. That's to tell you all the advantages. And I forgot, Kim also has a hidden immunity idol, but I doubt that Sophie gave hers back to her, so we don't know if that's an actual hidden immunity idol yet. In any case, this was an episode, I really, looking at it, there's a lot of stuff that happened. It seems like the Blue Tribe is where all the strategy stuff is happening, and the Red Tribe is just where all the fun stuff is happening, you know? This episode and the last episode, very similar. You know, we have some fun Tony time, and then we get to the serious voting stuff, you know? We go to Tony, and last episode he was having fun with a ladder, and he get to reuse that ladder in this challenge. I'm surprised they let him do that. No, it was a different ladder, of course. But in this one, he's picking up a shark, which is funny because I saw a deleted clip from Cagayan where LJ or someone said, like, oh, look, there's a shark in the water. So I was like, shark? There's a shark? I gotta get out of here. Come on. Woo, get back here. Get me out of the water. You know, it was a very fun sequence. And so we get to see that figure up again here, and that's so fun. It was so funny. Everyone freaking out and having a fun time with that. Tyson just digging himself an even deeper hole because everyone is up to his game. It seems like that's all we do on the Red Tribe now is see whatever fun stuff Tony's up to, and then just see Tyson say something that makes another person mad and wants to vote him out, trying to get himself off of the bottom. But focusing on the Blue Tribe's Tribal Council, I did not think that Ethan was going to go. I thought that Parvati was going to go. Because we all knew that they had to target one of those 3 members, at least one, at the next Tribal Council, 100%. But Ethan was, in my mind, the least likely. You know, it's like, first of all, I'm a big component of don't take a half measure, okay? If you're trying to weaken Boston Rob, weaken him by voting him off. And let's talk about Adam. What was Adam doing? You know, we were talking about last week, we were like, oh, I'm glad Adam talked Denise out of doing something stupid. Well, here Adam was doing something stupid. Now, I don't besmirch the guy for trying to reel in the other players and to be like, okay, now you're with me. That's not a bad move. The problem is you do it after you blindside him, especially when you're dealing with Boston Rob. You know, it's like you. Right now, if you want to do that game, which I would never recommend, just vote him out. He's going to be more trouble than he's worth. But if you want to play that game, you can't have to negotiate from a position of power. And as long as you give him and his crew time to try to change things up, you're never going to... he's not going to go with you. He's always a guy who has to be in charge and control of everything. And so if you put information that you're voting against one of his alliance members, how did that work for Danny? Now, fortunately for Adam, he made better connections with the other players, I think, like Denise and whatnot. So it's a reason why they didn't target him. But they were considering it. I'm pretty sure Denise is like, well, maybe we should target one of these other guys first and then we'll go after Adam. But I'm sure Denise is trying to keep everything on the low. But they kept Adam out of the vote. That's not a good sign. But I actually think this kind of makes it an interesting play from the 4 that voted, because it's a split vote. We got the 3 people that voted for Adam. We got Adam who voted for Parvati. And now we got... those 4 who controlled the vote and voted off Ethan. Now, those 4, everyone's going to go to them and try to get the other side off. Adam's going to go to them and say, let's vote off Boston Rob or Parvati. I'm betting he'll go, let's just take out Boston Rob. If he's in a begging position, he'll be like, Jeremy, let's vote off Boston Rob. He's the one that really wanted Natalie. But then again, Boston Rob can say the same thing. It was really Adam that was pushing Natalie, man. I think Jeremy is in a power position because, well, okay, it's like Ben. Let's look at that group as a whole. Ben, Michelle, Denise, and Jeremy. I think Jeremy is the closest with Michelle, and Ben is probably closer to Denise. But I think Jeremy is a driver. Everybody else is kind of more of a passenger seat type of player. Denise took the passenger seat to Malcolm. Ben took it to Devin a lot of the time. And Michelle was just going along with whatever the vote was that wasn't going to vote her out. I think Jeremy is a driver, and he is now, I think, in the driver's seat of that tribe. It took him a little bit, had a rocky start, but my winner pick from the guys is doing A-OK, which I'm good. I'm glad about. It's going to be interesting because I think they now hold the control. I think Denise is probably going to want to keep Adam around, but I don't think she's going to be willing to risk her game on it. So if all 3 of them decide Adam, I don't think she's going to put up too much. Let me just put it this way. I don't think she is going to put her idol on him. If they're blindsided him. But if he begs, she might. I don't know. That's going to be tricky. Anyways, though, but still, Ethan is just the player that I did not expect to see going home. I figured that he was doing a good job so far. Every week, we were praising him, like, Ethan, stick it in there, good job. And now he's gone for seemingly no fault of his own. I think the thing with a player like Ethan is Boston Rob and Parvati and them were all being like, oh, yeah, why are you so stupid? You're still only 3, Loyalty will only get you so far. I think if Ethan was more open to the idea of voting off Parvati, maybe he'd still be in the game if he was more inclusive with the other players instead of just sticking with the ones that he knows. And I'm not saying he didn't make relationships. I'm just saying they weren't deep enough relationships for them to really want to keep him. At least Boston Rob must have made something that made him want to keep him over Ethan. They didn't want him to be powerful, so they wanted to weaken him in his game, but they still wanted him in the game, so at least he's doing something to increase their relationships. Still, even though Adam didn't play it right and he tried to approach them about voting off Parvati before, I gotta give a little bit of hand to the guy for being balls up, just talking to Boston Rob. Like, hey, you want to vote off Ben? No. Oh, Jeremy? No. You want to go there? Yes. Gotta give the guy props. He stood his ground. I'm surprised that Adam thinks he had such a great connection with Boston Rob, because they've been at each other's throats in like every tribal council. I don't think we need to dump all of our stuff everywhere. Let's not do that. But yeah, anyways, let's here's the thing. Boston Rob always knew that he was going to not be in a power position in this game because of how big his target was. But I don't think he likes it, and he never enjoys it. And you can just see the scowl on his face. It's the same one he was giving Russell after Russell pulled off the Tyson vote out in Heroes versus Villains. Now, there's not a lot he can do here. He doesn't have a lot of numbers. I think he's just going to try to pour on those guys to vote out Adam, and then we can move together as a strong tribe. Whether they will, I don't know. That was I want to say and talk about the challenge, because that was a close challenge, wasn't it? I mean, they were they were one piece away. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest when Sarah pushed it too hard and it fell off. I was like, no, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting, because moving forward, what these tribes will look like when they swap, you know? Because the thing is, while I applaud Yul and Sophie and the crew for being such a tight dynamic, there is the thing that when they swap, they might not have all the numbers, and therefore a player like Kim or Tyson would be more willing to go where they have a little bit more options. Now, the thing is, we don't know when the swap is coming. It didn't seem like it was happening in the preview for the next episode. Maybe they do a Heroes versus Villains thing where they don't swap at all. I hope they don't. No, I mean, I hope they do, because I want to see what the dynamics are like, because you don't have too many solid groups now, except for maybe Yul's. I don't know. They seem to be very tight. Anytime Tyson tries to break them up, you know, it keeps on backfiring on him. Anytime, even Kim is like, hey, I'm giving you this half on my idol, Sophie. Anytime someone tries to do something, it ends up just putting a bigger target on their back. And Sandra, I think, is a pretty good spot. I mean, I'm like, sure, Tyson's coming for her, but I think that what Yul recognizes about Sandra is that she might be a Devices type of personality, but he's smart enough to see through anything that's not in his best interest, you know? He knows what is good for his game, and I think he knows it'll be better for his game if Sandra is around longer than if Tyson is around longer. Tyson is also, as I would say, a driver in this game, and Sandra, while an amazing player, usually isn't. Her strategy is anybody but me, meaning anybody but me. That's not a type of drive thing, you know? If you're a driver and you're like, I want to eat here, instead of, we can eat anywhere, I don't care. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. And this, apparently we're driving to a restaurant. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that tribe goes to tribal council, where the votes are going to go, and if they switch up, is having such a solid group going to end up backfiring on them in the long run. I like that we're still getting consistent shots of Yul throughout this few episodes, you know? He's still getting a decent amount of screen time. I mean, we're not spending too much time on the Red Tribe because they're not going to Tribal Council, but every time we go there, we see something from Yul or Sophie or Tony, but Tony's just doing such crazy antics, you can't help but watch Tony. You have to watch Tony. So I think the dynamics of that group is really interesting, and how everyone seems to fit in it. And I don't know how it's going to work out when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, you know? Who's going to backstab who first? Who's going to do the big flip? It's a lot of stuff still up in the air. All right, prediction time. I'm stalling because I just don't have anything else to say. So prediction time, who is going home next? I said it last week, I'll say it this week. I think if the Red Tribe goes to the Tribal Council, I think it's Tyson. I think no matter what he says, he's just digging himself deeper. For the Blue Tribe, I'm going to say Adam. I'm going to say the best move for like Jeremy and Michelle is to vote out Adam. Here's my caveat, though. If Denise puts an idol on Adam, I'm going to say Michelle goes home. Why? Because she's another person who I said who was going to have a low target, and gosh darn it, they all seem to be dropping like flies. No, but and more realistically, I think that she probably has a better working relationship than Jeremy. That's just going off of instinct. I haven't seen anything that would say that, but it seems like moving forward, I think she'd be more comfortable with Jeremy than Michelle. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Or maybe she just might vote off Boston Rob. I don't know. The fact that she said that she was interested in giving the idol to Parvati means that I think she has an interesting, at least a good connection with some of those old schoolers, and so we'll have to wait and see how it all turns out. But I'm saying it's Adam, and if it's not, it's going to be Michelle because Denise put an idol on him. All right, that's it. MVP of the game. I'm going to give it a split here. I'm going to give it to Michelle and Jeremy. Now, I am saying this, even though I'm not the biggest Michelle fan, but I think that to give it to Jeremy, I think that would be a bias. I think that Michelle and Jeremy both, they were the two that swung over Ben and Denise in order to vote off Ethan, so therefore they were the deciding factor in this episode. I think that to give it to one instead of the other wouldn't be fair, because I think they worked as a tandem and they controlled the vote. So, Jeremy and Michelle, you are the winners of my MVP of the week. So, yeah, that's everything I got to say. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I am the Survivor Dude, and, well, it's going to be crazy. Next thing you know, they'll vote Jeff off. I don't know. It's just, with the way this season is going, I have no idea who's going home. See ya.